Good morning and happy Monday. Positive and productive. Don't worry, I'm not gonna quit my day job for singing. I love my day job. I'm blessed with that. Not everyone is blessed with the ability to love their job. I just like it, like literally love it. We do little things in the recovery family world, like we have a Monday uniform. We all wear the same hoodie. Even though a little warm for a hoodie, it makes me feel connected with my people. So I do it anyways. And that's important. Finding things that make us feel connected. We have Stephanie joining us today. A couple other people, Sabrina. So let me get started. This is just a short, quick little thing where I can give you a tip. And if you have time and want to, we can hang out after. But I'm going to start with a story. So I have a 14-year-old son who's an only child. So he's kind of used to being alone, but he's not used to this much alone time with mom. And the other day I'm doing a meeting, like a Facebook Live, I think it was, or maybe it was a Zoom meeting. I don't know. They all blend together. And you can see like there's stairs coming into my basement, right? And he's yelling, Mom, Mom. I'm like trying to act professional, like press the mute button so nobody sees. I'm like hoping he'll just go away because I don't want to move my mouth. Like I don't want it to look like I'm talking to him. And then next thing I know, I just see like his feet coming down the stairs, and then he like puts his head in, and I'm like, oh my God, there's nothing I can do. So today's productivity tip is about boundaries, and it applies to people who are completely alone or those in a house full. So for me, we tried setting a boundary. We have a schedule board, and I write down when I have meetings, and I have him brainstorm and write down what he can do while I'm at my meetings so that I'm not, interrupted, because I want to try to maintain some professionalism. The problem is he gets excited, which is beautiful and I appreciate it, but he barges in and asks questions or shares. So that was kind of a fail. Good intentions, but a fail. So the next thing we've done is I have a sign that just says I'm working, and I put it wherever I am. So if he forgets to look at the schedule to see if I'm busy, he can see the sign and know like now's not the time. But more importantly, working from home is difficult. And I'm going to give you a strategy that helped me when I didn't work at home. And this one's setting a visual boundary for yourself. So let me go back and explain. Before we moved to everything online, I was working a lot in the schools with students who were identified as at risk for future substance use or were currently struggling with substance use disorder. And one of the things that happened was my heart would break for these children. I mean, they were dealing with very grown-up problems, and all I wanted to do was help them. I had the same problem when I was a teacher. I would just carry this emotional burden of the people I work with, which leads to compassion fatigue. And when you're in that state, you're not helping anyone, not yourself, not your family, and certainly not the people you're working with. So I have a friend who is a psychiatrist in the prison system. Possibly psychologist, I have those terms wrong. And I just asked her one day, like, how did you not bring that stuff home? Like, how did you not carry the re-traumatization or the scary images of the things that you heard and saw, or even the need to help people? How did you let that go? And she gave me this strategy that helped me as a teacher, and I'm going to tell you about how it can help you when you work from home. She said, you need a visual reminder that that task is over. So she said she was herself until she got to the prison gate where, like after she checked in, she would close her eyes and she would say, like, put herself aside and open up to empathy, right? When she was working with her clients, she was empathetic. But when she went back through that gate, she'd close her eyes. She'd take that part of her self off, and she would assume her real world personality. So that really helped me when I was working with the students. Before I went into this school, I would do a little meditation on empathy and presence so I could be fully there for them. But when I left, I would pause in front of the door with both hands on it, take a deep breath, and kind of just leave it all behind me. So how can that help you? You need a visual representation of its work time. I don't know if you're like me, but I'm like, oh, if I'm working on my computer at my desk, the laundry room's right there. I could start a load of laundry, and then I can switch it between tasks. And if I run upstairs to get a snack, I can start the dishwasher, and I can kind of like do all of these things at once. No, I need to just focus. So that's my Monday intention. And the productivity tip that I want to give you is you need to create a space. So for me, when I'm at my desk, I can only do work things. When I leave my desk, I'm not doing work things. That's my reminder. If you're someone who has to use a space for multiple things, say you're working from your kitchen table, but you also eat dinner at your kitchen table or play board games there, then you need to get maybe like a picture or some type of plaque or an object, okay? And when that object is on that table in front of you, that tells your brain, okay, it is time to sit down and work. It could also have the dual purpose if you have someone in your home that's struggling knowing when they can and can't talk to you. You could say like, hey, whenever this is next to my computer, it means I'm working and I'm in work mode. Please don't interrupt unless it's an emergency, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So those are kind of just the tips that I do. Again, I'm not a professional. I've learned everything I know through failure, and I think I've shared this before, but it's worth sharing again. A lot of people who know me think I'm super organized and highly productive, and although those are truths, it's like an iceberg, right? You see those and they are true and they're real, but beneath that is a whole host of behaviors that get me sidetracked and lead to anti-productivity and procrastination and perfectionism and blah, 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 blah. So what you see is just the behaviors, that tip of the iceberg, that are a result of all of the things that I've done wrong over the years. And like I mentioned, reaching out to people who were role models to me and who did better and knew better. But I think it's worth mentioning too that, how do I want to say this? Like when you're looking for a new vision or a new way of living or new information, you don't have to go directly to the source. So for example, to go back to the school thing, I didn't go to another teacher, right? I went to someone in a different realm that struggled with the same problem. And I think that's worth noting. I'm struggling working at home so much. You know, I've done it before, but never at this volume. But I'm not going to go to my recovery peers who are working at home. I mean, I definitely will talk to them about it, but I want to go to someone who's done this before, even though it looks different. So I'm thinking freelance engineers, right? Like they've been working from home their whole life, writing code and data and dealing with like the stiff neck from looking at your computer screen and posture and et cetera, et cetera. Although they're not doing what I'm doing, they have way more experience than I do. So, you know, that's kind of my workaround. I guess I have 2 tips today. So let's go ahead and look at the comments. Karen says, great idea. I appreciate that, Karen. And just to reiterate, for anybody who's new, the specific idea is create a visual representation of a space that means it's time to work. So whether that's literally one location in your house that's strictly dedicated to work and work alone. So every time you put your butt in the chair in that place, you know it's time to focus. Or if you don't have the ability or you don't want to, you have a shared space, create a visual reminder that it's work time. It could be a poster, an object, maybe a special pen. Ooh, speaking of, look how rad that thing is. I love this pen. And it's not even just work, right? Like creative writing is another thing that I love. I have a specific routine when I'm going to engage with the writing process and things that I only use during that time. One of them being this journal, right? Only certain types of writing go in here. So every time I touch it, I know like, okay, that's a positive trigger for a specific action. Yeah, and I guess now that we're talking about it, it is using trigger, which is a word with a normally has a negative connotation, in a positive way. You can trigger yourself with materials to do things that you want to do. Yeah, that's what we come here for, the Monday monologue. But we have a couple of minutes, so if anyone has any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments. And if you just joined us and missed the productivity tip, I will be ending this Facebook Live, and then you'll have two options. Once it's logged on Facebook or our website, you can go back and rewatch it, or you'll see in the comments, and I'll post it on Rockcovery's page, a link to a Zoom hangout where I'll be just for 15 minutes, so you can ask what the tip was there, or anyone who was here the whole time, we can talk about ways that you might use it, questions you have. You can teach me some stuff. I can just see your faces. So I will end the video in a moment and again post that Zoom link on Rockcovery's page. Hang out there, but we're here for you. Rockcovery supports wellness, and any pathway to recovery that works for you works for us. Part of wellness is organizing your life. I'm here to share what I know because I can only talk from experience. I'm not an expert, but I'm open. Other ways that we work on wellness include meditation, workouts, book discussions, nightly reflections. We're working on finding ways to get volunteers back into Rockcovery in a digital format. Really, you name it, we're going to find a way to provide it for you because we genuinely love our people. And as much as you feel like we give to you, don't forget that you give back to us. So engage in any way that feels good to you. Don't hesitate to reach out. We have peer services available. You can get a peer for your own recovery journey, or if you know somebody who's struggling with recovery, you can refer them to us and we'd be happy to help. So thanks for your time this morning, and I will see you around.